Hey there, my fellow barbecue enthusiasts. Welcome back to Baker's Barbecue. Hey, today we got some beautiful, about inch thick, center cut, bone-in pork steaks. We're going to be putting on the Weber grill. We're going to be smoking them low and slow until they're absolutely plastic fork tender. So be sure and stick around. Fire up your Weber grill. Cook right along with me. Let's get to smoking. So I've had these pork steaks marinating overnight in a mixture of apple juice, brown sugar, salt, and then also your favorite barbecue rub. I will drop that recipe down in the description of the video. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and drain off all this juice. I'm going to lay them out here, pat them down a little bit, and we're going to get them seasoned up in some of my Baker's Barbecue Champions blend. All right, we've got these out of the bag, so I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer. I'm not going to do any trimming. I say 2 inches. They're probably about an inch thick. Normally I do 1.5 inch, 2. These are about an inch thick pork steaks, center cut, bone in. And all we're going to do is we're going to shake them down. I marinated them last night, like I said. We're just going to shake them down in some rub. Using some of my Champions blend barbecue seasoning today. I'm going to do a pretty good heavy coat on them all the way around. This is some really good barbecue rub. It's got a good savory kick to it, good bold flavor. Flip those over. You see this fat cap right here? I'm going to have that towards the fire on the Weber Kettle Master Touch. Over here and put us a good layer of barbecue rub. Pretty simple little process. Pick it up, do the edges. Like that right there. Might as well put that to good use, what's on the board. Now we're going to let these sit there and sweat out while we get the grill up to temp. And we'll get it to temp, I'll take you out there and we'll get these on the smoker. All right, so here's my setup for today. I got me a starter right here. I got charcoal that's laid down the side here. Got me a couple pieces here of pecan. Got me a water pan over here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to light this up. It's going to slowly cook or slowly burn throughout the cooking process. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing lit up. Then we're going to let that get going. I'm going to throw a couple more pieces of charcoal down in there on it. And we'll be back here in about 10 or 15 minutes. Time to get these pork steaks on. The reason I set that down versus propping it back is I want to make sure you can see real well. Sometimes it blocks the light. All right, so let's grab us a pork steak here. First one we're going to lay down just like that. Pull it back there away from the fire. Got your fat, the fat cap from the pork steak facing the fire. I'm going to do the same as this one right over here. And I angle them just a little bit to give myself a little bit more room. Go ahead and throw me a wood chunk up in there. Throw that bigger one up in there first. Just like that. Put our lid back on here. Make sure you've got your exhaust over here over the meat. Over here is the charcoal. You want that convection process coming up and going over your meat and going out. All right, so now we got it loaded up. We're going to let this go. I'm going to let it go probably about 2 hours before I come back and check it. And when I come back, I'll be looking to see if I need to spritz, etc. And my target temp range today is I want to run these around 245 to 260, somewhere in that range. And kind of that's a good range for pork steaks, thick pork steaks, if you want to smoke them, cook them down over time. You know, I absolutely love pork steaks. I'm sure you probably do as well. That's why you're watching this video. But you know, the pork steak is just a cut of the Boston butt. All it is simply cutting the Boston butt. You can cook it hot and fast. You can cook it to where you slice it like a steak, or you can actually cook it longer where it falls apart like Boston butt and pulled pork. I like to get them cut thick, cook them for a long period of time, where you can eat them with a plastic fork and serve those on a tray to people and just look at their faces whenever they see about an inch thick pork steak. So when you go to your butcher, what you want to ask for is ask for whatever thickness you want, but you want it probably between an inch and a 2 inch center cut pork steak, bone in. That's what you want to ask for. They're really simple to cook. They're pretty forgiving, and they're absolutely delicious when you get done. So stick around. Here in a couple hours, we'll come back, take a look at them, see if they need spritz, see how they're doing. All right, so we're 2 hours in on these pork steaks. I'm going to open them up. I'm going to see how they look, see if they need to be spritzed. And I may flip them, rotate them. I'm not sure yet. Just going to see how they're looking. Oh, yeah. Those are looking real good. Now, my bark, as you can see, my bark is not set yet. So I'm actually not going to spritz them, but I'm going to go ahead and rotate them around. I'm going to go ahead and flip them. Just like that right there. I'll come back checking on them in about an hour and see how they're doing. They're definitely looking good though. That's after the flip right there. Oh yeah. All right, so we're at the 3 hour mark. We're gonna open it up and see how it's looking. Oh wow, check that out. Yep, bark's starting to get set now. As you can see, a little bit coming off. It's mainly the juices. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a good spritz. I'll bring you over here in just a second to show it to you. Looking really good. We'll make sure you get all those good dark spots around the edges real good. I'm going to go ahead there and do another flip on them. Get that back to the top side there. Just like that. Scoot them just a little bit over, just a little bit closer to the fire there. All right, look at that. That is looking wonderful. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Looking really, really good. 4 hour mark. Looking really good. All right, so we're at the 4 hour mark and they're ready to wrap. So what I'm going to use today is I'm going to use some Head Country Original barbecue sauce. I'm just going to put something down on the full. And then from there, I'm just going to put the pork steaks in there, wrap them up, put a little bit more on top. Pretty simple little process here. Nothing complicated, nothing overly unique. Well, pork steaks looking good. Look at that. Not sure how well you can see it, but looking really good. Just lay it down just like that. Put my lid back on to keep my fire from getting out of control here. And from there, I'm going to take it, put some on the top. And then just a little bit when I take these out, I will baste more on there. So I'm just going to take them up, roll them down just like that. Back in there. The other pork steak. Fall apart there on me. I almost forgot my sauce here. And I might have to double wrap this one here. I'm seeing a little bit of tears on the bottom. But just a little bit more there on top, and I'm going to check it out and see how it's looking. Wrap it up like I did the other one. Kind of roll those down. So rolling that down, it makes it easy after a while because I can basically make a full boat on the smoker and open them back up to let them tack up. All right, let's get this back on. All right. All right, we're going to get it closed back down. My plan is for these to go about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. From there, I will come back out. I'll make a boat out of the full, put them back in, put some more sauce on them, baste them, let it tack up, and they're going to be ready to go. All right, so we just bolted these up. We got about 30 minutes left on them. I'm going to go ahead and put a little sauce on them here. And Let them caramelize. I'm going to add probably a couple of more wood chips when I get done here in just a second. Let a little bit of smoke come through there and touch up on them. They're looking good. Good looking pork steaks. When they get done, that'll put them cooking a total of right about 6 hours. A little bit more right there. As you can see, I threw me a couple. I got a couple sweet potatoes over here as well. All right, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna grab me just a few wood chips, not many, but I'm gonna throw just a few on there, just enough to create a little bit of smoke. If the sauce has been added, and then what that'll do is that will allow that sauce to pick up just a little bit of the smoke and give it a good flavor. All right, so we're gonna let this go about 30 minutes, and then we will be taking them off, and they'll be done. There goes pork steaks right there. Oh man, those are going to be tasty. Champions blend. Pork steaks going to be good. All right, there, my fellow barbecue enthusiasts. We've got the pork steaks all done, and they look absolutely wonderful. Let's just do a quick recap. We cooked these on the Weber Kettle Master Touch. I use a little bit of pecan as the wood of choice. I had these pork steaks, and they were probably about 1 inch thick. They were center cut, bone-in pork steaks. I marinated them overnight in a mixture of apple juice, brown sugar, salt, and your favorite barbecue rub. Like I said, I will put that recipe down in the description of the video, so make sure you go check that out. We put it on the smoker, and our average temperature was somewhere between 250, 275. It kind of floated back and forth throughout the day. After the first 2 hours, when it starts spritzing, I started spritzing about every 45 minutes after that. And at the 4 hour mark, went ahead, put on some barbecue sauce on full, put the pork steaks in, put a little bit of barbecue sauce on top of them, wrapped them up, put them back in the smoker for about 1.5 hours to 1 hour and 45 minutes. Then we unwrapped them, made a foil boat, put them back in with some more sauce on top, and then go for about 30 more minutes. Let that caramelize. After we did that, we brought them out. They've been sitting here resting for about 30 minutes on the counter. I'm going to bring in just a little bit closer. We'll see how they look. All right, I want you to just look at those pork steaks. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to take a fork. We're just going to tear right into the center and get a little bit of bite out of it. I want you to look at this. Look at how tender that is and how juicy that is. All right, so the next thing for us to do is take a bite of it. Man. Melts in your mouth. Absolutely delicious. I got to tell you, I can really taste the Champions blend coming through. Also, the Head Country original tastes really good on it. If you remember, after I opened them back up, made a boat, I put a little bit more wood chips in there, added just a hint of smoke to the outside, and it tastes phenomenal. So I recommend you fire up your Weber grills and you try this process, and you absolutely love these pork steaks. If you're new to the channel, if you would, go ahead and please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you're not new to the channel and you're coming back, hey, I appreciate that, and thank you for supporting Baker's Barbecue. If you would, please hit that like button. So until the next time I see all you guys, happy smoking.